Welcome back to Pixel Junkies. Welcome to listeners joining us on the radio and viewers joining us on YouTube. Just a reminder, if you want the full uncensored version, go onto YouTube, type in Pixel Junkies, you'll find us there. This is episode 3. We are going to keep numbering them. Oh.
Yeah.
I am one of your hosts, Rory DC.
And I'm your other host, Adam the Porridge Knight.
And I'm your other host, Andrew.
And I'm your other host, Aaron.
And I'm the cool guy, Jordan the Marvel Coker.
Well, we can't really make it not catch on now. It's going to happen.
Before I had sound, you can go to PixelJunkies.ca because hopefully today, when this video comes out, Monday, our new website will have launched.
That's true.
Maybe
yes.
you're watching it there.
You'll be able to find lots of new content, like written
You
content.
still see a crappy website. We had a problem, and the new one's not up yet. So.
Yeah.
So
What if
It's bound to happen.
What if they go to the new website and it's like, oh man, it's still crappy?
Well, then I fail as a human.
Which,
So-
don't we all?
Guys, how are we doing this week?
I'm doing really good. I found out one of my good friends got engaged today, so I'm really happy.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So
Congratulations to those
Adam,
people.
Thanks, Adam.
Congratulations to Adam's.
Do I know them? Because after you'll have to tell me who it
Wasn't
was,
me.
if I know them.
no. Well, yeah, you probably know them.
Oh, cool.
I've
You know
known
a
them
lot of
for
people.
years.
I do know a lot of people. That's one of my
What?
specialties.
If you
I've
were
known them
to-
for years.
If you were to represent your knowledge or your knowing of people in some sort of mathematical number,
Yeah.
how fast does the swallow fly?
I thought you were going to say how fast does it converges? Does it converge?
How fast does the fly
So
swallow?
we had a lot of big news come out this week. Marvel had a big announcement this week. DC had a big announcement this week. DC being the comic company, not the shoes. Because,
Or Rory.
or Rory. Because,
DC makes shoes?
Yeah, DC Shukusa.
DC shoe.
DC Shoe Company USA. I always say DC Shukusa, kind of like BB Comerica. It's one of those things that should have been
Letter
named
C,
something else.
According to Rory, is she.
Oh, yeah.
A, B, she.
I got sick this week.
Oh, really? That sucks.
Yeah.
Are you better
Nobody
now?
cares.
You all
Oh,
right?
my voice is still kind of...
Oh, okay, yeah.
Ebola back in full swing. That's
kind of
great.
like that.
Is it Ebola or is it like...
It's not Ebola, Adam.
Dude,
Or is it Ebola because it's F and that means it's one worse? Or maybe it's Gabola because it's G and that means it's two worse.
What did Marvel announce?
No, I'm not going to
Okay,
say that. I was
okay,
going to say...
let's actually go
I was
on
going to
topic
mention
here.
the thing. I was going to say you'd probably call it Kentucky Ebola.
Oh yeah, Kentucky Ebola. Is it Kentucky Ebola? Me and
Fried.
Rory found out that we can place the word Kentucky in front of most things and make it sound worse.
drastically.
So, like, think of
Terrible.
something. Just think of anything. Give me a word. Give me a noun.
Jump.
Kentucky jump.
What?
Doesn't that sound awful?
It's a verb.
What the heck is a... Also, yes, that's a verb. But it works for verbs because what's a Kentucky jump? It sounds like a bunch of, like...
What about the...
It's as mass
It's not
suicide
really
as
a noun,
what it
is it?
No, that's the word.
Well, the reason we discovered this is
Fried
because...
chicken.
Oh, you got me.
Yeah, that might be the only thing. But, like,
Kentucky
we...
Fried Chicken sounds
Because what it was is someone, we were talking about pate,
Very
right?
fattening
And you know, you have like pate and you have
Kentucky
liverwurst, right? There are
Angus.
these different kinds of, like, basically the same thing. And someone mentioned there was a such thing as Kentucky pate. And that's what
And
I
that
think.
sounds really, like,
Which in
It sounds
Kentucky they
awful.
call Pate.
Pate.
Kentucky Pate.
Kentucky Pate.
Yeah.
Can I tell you? So I used to work at a place called Fluvarium, and I really like working at that job. And
You're going to have to explain to people what that is. 'Cause
so it's like an interpretation
It's a
center
fish
for
place.
So you learn about freshwater ecosystems and the organisms that inhabit those freshwater ecosystems.
And it
So,
goes
like,
underwater, and you can watch the fish. It's basically like a Newfoundland aquarium.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool place. Take your kids. It's really good for kids. Go see it. It's cool. But my boss, he went to Tim Hortons one day because he was going to get us all like coffees and stuff, which was nice. We did that quite a lot because he was a nice boss. And he said, so I went to the Tim Hortons and I was just like, can I have like 3 double doubles and a hot chocolate and what's the thing up there, a latte? Can I have a latte? And he was just like, what? And he's like, what's that thing up there? You know, a latte. She's like, it's called a latte. And I was like, oh no.
Just don't correct people. When you're working at a place
Yeah,
like
why
that.
not? I correct them because ignorance.
No, because then they
because
talk
ignorance.
What?
To you. Then they engage in
No, you don't be
conversation
saucy
of some
about
sort.
it.
How do you... No, if you correct somebody, you're being sus.
No, you're not.
In their eyes, you are.
Well, don't correct them like, oh, you
If someone
mean
thinks
a
you're
lot.
being
It depends upon the
saucy
context.
because
With-
you're trying to educate them.
Well, with
They are in fact
with
ignorant.
strangers, rules are different. If Andrew corrects me, Andrew's just correcting me on something. I don't care.
Yeah, but we're friends.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's what I mean. With
But if you're-
strangers, the dynamic is very different.
Yeah.
Guys, should we address the elephant in the room? His name is Jumbo and he likes peanuts.
Oh, I thought you were going to make it.
Does Jumbo like peanuts?
Okay.
There's a stereotype with elephants that they like peanuts. That's actually unfounded. Same as elephants don't like mice because that's
Also, who's
unfounded.
Jumbo?
It's a
Speaking
typical
of
name for an
irrelevant
elephant, man.
facts.
What,
Alright.
isn't the cartoon
Yeah,
one
let's-
named
Let's go
Dumbo?
on to the Marvel.
Yeah, but there's a lot of elephants named. It's just a
Who's
stereotypical
Jumbo?
name.
Like his cooler older brother?
No, it's just a stereotypical name for fucking elephant.
Like Jumbo, like
Well,
is the
I
captain
just
of the
swore
football
there.
team. Or...
Rory, mark that down on the thing because you're gonna have to edit it because I just swore there by accident.
Okay, what's your story?
For
Oh,
my
you just
story?
said you just swore there. I thought you said I have a story there, like
Oh,
about
no,
Jumbo,
I
the
just swore
captain
there.
of the
Okay,
football
we're drawing
team.
too much attention to it.
Adam, it's actually, if you had paid attention in high school, it's actually pronounced elephant.
Such as lemon is lemon.
A lemon.
And I love to drink lemonade.
One of my
I mean,
favorite
can you
things
get it
ever
through your
is.
stupid head.
Has anybody
It's
ever
elephant.
seen
I'm
an
sorry.
interview with Jake Gyllenhaal? Because more often than not, it comes up that like, how do you pronounce his last name?
you said
And
this
he-
last week.
Did I really? No, I said
And you said the
You
week
did.
before.
You did.
I mentioned about how it's actually
Yilin.
pronounced, but he trolls interviewers a lot of time. He's like, it's actually Yilin Hula Hail. It's dead serious. He's a great actor.
So there's a really
saw
funny
that.
series of YouTube videos called "Hey Ash, What You Playing," which you guys should totally check out. And they do one for Call of Duty Black Ops 2, I think, and where one of the people who's on the show dresses up as the CEO of Activision, and he's like, his name is like Michael Kovic, and he said, and the guy's like, so Mr. Kovic, he's like, it's pronounced Kotick, and he's like, oh. Sorry. Anyway, Mr. Kotick, and then the short continues on, and then another guy speaks like, "I have a great idea, Mr. Kotick," and he's like, "It's pronounced Kovic," and he's like, "I thought you said it was Kotick." I lied, and she like shoots him because it was. You really gotta kind of watch it.
It was like Bob
And
Shore, was it?
so
Can we talk about Microsoft?
Marvel. Let's go Marvel. What's
Marvel?
yeah.
I want to
Didn't
address
say
something,
anything.
actually. The first podcast we did, we brought up the fact... remember that wrestler with the mask that ran the orphanage or whatever?
Oh,
King, yeah.
They did make a movie.
really?
Yeah. We said they should make a movie.
Make a movie about what?
King.
About King or about
Yeah.
Tekken?
No, but
Well,
he's
the
based
King?
off of a guy.
The actual guy that saved an orphanage.
Yeah, I know.
Right,
I know the guy
yeah.
you're talking about because for some reason I
Right.
thought that was important enough to retain.
Okay, so they
in
did
my
make a
memory.
movie about that actual guy.
Yeah, I kind of forget the name of it, but it's a Jack Black movie.
Yeah,
Was
it's
it-
Nacho Libre.
Nacho Libre.
It's based off of it.
That's so
That's the same
terrible.
guy?
Based off of.
well,
That is
it's,
Like, that's the
Stupid.
same
it's
guy
a
they're
movie
based off.
on that wrestler.
So they're both based off of the same wrestler,
Yeah.
but in
They
He's
obviously
actually
took it,
radically different
They took it in a
interpretations.
different direction.
He's
No.
actually kind of like he would be the equivalent of like not nearly as big, but like he's kind of like a Robin Hood figure for that because like luchadors in that culture, obviously not to, like they're a bit more involved in the culture than American wrestlers.
Oh, I saw
are
that
for
episode of
America.
Angel.
Okay, well, oh yeah, that episode that was a good episode.
Yeah, number 5.
Yeah, but they're a bit more involved in the culture, and he would be kind of like a Robin Hood kind of character. Not that he's like Robin Hood, but in where it's like a very kind of like legendary tale, like kind of like like Zorro, or even though Zorro was made up, but like that kind of a folk tale character, if you know what I mean. I don't know how else to explain it.
No, that was totally.
That was
worked,
adequate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it adequate?
Yeah.
So like 7 out of 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
6.5.
Whoa! Don't be throwing out .5s here, man. Let's
So
move
Marvel
on.
ruined everything.
Well, okay.
Marvel. Good
I'm
segue.
really not in the state to. Okay, I gotta level with people. I'm really not in the state to really explain this, but I'm gonna try as best as I can. So, the different comic companies. The two main comic companies are DC and Marvel. Obviously, people know that. If you don't, then there they are. And every comic company has what they call comic universes where all their stories take place. And most often or not, each comic company has a couple of different universes. So say in Universe A, you have a story where... That was really loud. Where Batman has a sidekick named Robin. Well, let's say somebody wants to write a story where Batman's sidekick isn't Robin, it's actually Batgirl. Well, they could say, okay, well, I'm going to write another story that takes place in another universe where Batman's sidekick is Batgirl instead of Robin. So the main universe has Robin as the sidekick, but Universe B, we'll call it, has Batgirl. Thank you, as the sidekick. So just different stuff like that. So Marvel has two main universes: the what's called the mainstream Marvel universe, or in continuity Marvel Universe 616, and that's where all the major stories happen. And then there's also the Marvel Ultimates universe, which is Marvel Universe 11902. I think, I forget. There's a lot of universes.
I guess if that's the number of them.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like there's actually one universe where everybody's a pig.
Numbers though.
Yeah. There's one universe where everybody's a pig, and there's one universe where everybody's a monkey, and those are really cool because there's an actual character, and I'm not kidding, called Spider-Han. Look it up.
Do they talk?
Oh yeah, they're anthropomorphized.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So anyway, so Marvel announced on Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember. I sent an angry text out to you guys, and you were like, "We don't care because we don't read comics." I'm like, "That's understandable." And
I cared.
What?
I cared.
Oh, did you?
Did you
Thank you, man.
respond?
I can't remember.
You didn't respond.
I didn't respond out of rage.
No.
Adam.
But
past 10
Marvel
years.
announced that they were going to merge the Ultimates universe. So let's, for ease of simplicity, we'll call that Marvel Universe B, and the mainstream universe, which we'll call Marvel Universe A. And they're going to merge those two universes into a single universe, which we're going to call Marvel Universe C, which is actually being given the name of Battle World. And by the way, is Battle World not the lamest name you've ever heard of for continuity?
It's kind
What's
of
its
bad.
number?
It sounds like somebody in the naming department was like, okay, I got this son, and he's really bored, so we're gonna let him name some stuff. Son, what are you gonna name this? I'm gonna name the new I'm gonna name the new continuity Battle World. Yeah, sure, whatever. So they're calling it Battle World. And Marvel hasn't really come out with details about what this means, but what it could mean is that all of the stories for the past 40, 50 years are going to end. So in the mainstream Marvel universe, they have all the stories in the 60s take place in the same universe as the stories that are happening now. So stuff in the 60s has affected what is happening now. And people are thinking that since this is the first time that the Marvel universe has really rebooted, that they're going to get rid of all that old continuity, which has understandably gotten a lot of people upset. Because if you've been reading these stories I've only been reading these stories for the last, say, 4 or 5 years, and I'm kind of upset by this because I've grown attached to the characters, I've grown attached to the stories, and at the thought of them being all wiped out, it's upsetting because, yeah, they'll still be there in comic print and stuff, but we're never going to see those iterations of the characters again, if that's what they're doing. But here's the thing, we don't know if that's actually what they're going to do because Marvel's been kind of vague about that. They've just said, there's an event coming up in April called Secret Wars, and after the Secret Wars,
Man, they're really bad at naming stuff.
How many wars have there been?
Hundreds.
Loads.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Secret Wars may not be as redundant
No,
as
the Secret
Battle
Wars
Wars.
came out the Secret Wars came out in the 80s, and there was a reason why
Okay, it was a
called the
bad
Secret
name
Wars.
in the 80s.
No, but there's a reason why they called
They
the
probably
Secret
got
Wars.
the same naming people from Nintendo. With the freaking
Yeah.
3DS.
Well, I'm assuming if the reason it's called the Secret Wars is kind of what it would sound like.
It takes place in space, that's why.
That's why it's called the Secret Wars.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And and that's actually, strange enough, where Spider-Man got the black suit, which ended up becoming the symbiote, which ended up becoming Venom.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
So there's this event called Civil War, Secret War, and in this event, the Ultimate Universe and the mainstream universe are going to merge. And it's not like Marvel hasn't been planning for this, because the last number of at least 2 or 3 years in the Avengers and other big storylines, they've been dealing with these rifts in the space-time continuum where stuff from other universes is kind of escaping into others. And so it's something that's been planned. So I have to congratulate them on that. That's not just like a spur-of-the-moment thing like DC seemed to have pulled off. But a lot of people are understandably angry because it could mean the end of their favorite characters. Because, let's put it this way. the Marvel Universe, if it reboots, it'll either mean that Spider-Man is, near 30. He's a professor at the university. He has this whole history that you have to learn up on. Or Peter Parker is just going to have the spider bite. It'll bring a lot of new readers to the fold, especially because they're doing this reboot near the same time that they're launching the Avengers movie. So when the Marvel popularity is going to be at its height and when people are going to be most interested in buying the comics, they're doing this big reboot. That makes financial sense. I'm not begrudging them that. But they're going to have this, I don't know if you guys, do you guys understand why people would, longtime comic fans would be upset? Because, even if it's the same, even if there's a character called Spider-Man, or even if there's a character called Hulk or Wolverine, it's not the character that you've been reading for 5, 10, 15
I don't know if that's
years.
true anyways, because, Spider-Man, from when he first came out to now, a lot of that stuff's been recycled, hasn't it? You know what I mean?
Has it, though?
Well, I mean, in terms of, reboots and different Gwen Stacy stories and
But Marvel has never actually done a reboot. Not really. Not a continuity reboot.
Well,
they've launched a bunch of new number ones a couple of times, but they've never rebooted the story. So even though they said this is going to be Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man number 1, it's still that Spider-Man. They're just saying this is the jumping on point for the continuity, but we're still keeping the continuity the same.
Here's the thing. Do I understand it in a way that I hear it and follow it logically? Yes. I don't understand it as I'm not a comic book fan. I'm a fan of TV.
Yeah.
And TV, you learn to have very short lifespans with your characters.
It would be the same as if they announced for, let's say, right after season 7 of Buffy, because you like Buffy and you like Buffy.
We all like Buffy.
Yeah, so we all like Buffy.
Yeah.
So right after season 7, they're saying, okay, there's going to be Buffy season 8. That's awesome. We love Buffy. More Buffy, the better. But what it's going to do is it's going to reboot the entire universe, and so the entire Buffy universe is going to start right back at zero. So all those stories that we've been building up for the past 7 seasons, they never happened. We're starting at square one again.
You know what?
That would be upsetting, wouldn't it?
I gotta say, just based on I've been conditioned by TV to accept short lifetimes, and also I'm gonna throw out a spoiler here. So, is anyone planning on watching Fringe?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Darn it. Okay.
It's a beautiful show.
I'm just going to say that I kind of agree with Rory. I wouldn't really have a problem with them rebooting the show. If they had plans to continue the show and do a season 8 and keep the season 7 storylines going, and then they were like, no, we're going to reboot it instead, then that would be upsetting to me. But if they did, season 7, they're like, all right, we're done. And then they came back and said, we're going to do a season 8, which is just a reboot. I'd be fine with that, because season 7 was all you're going to get anyway. And then
Yeah, but maybe as a comic book fan, it's a different story, I guess. I'm not a big comic book
Because
fan.
there's been people who've been reading Spider-Man since the 60s, when he first premiered. That's, 40, 50 years of Spider-Man
I
comics?
would have an issue with that example if they called it season 8.
Yeah, that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
Right, you mean just on you set a certain level of
They were
expectations,
talking
I
about
guess.
rebooting Buffy.
Yeah, there was
few
a
months
movie
back.
or something.
And they're talking about bringing the X-Files back, too.
That would be terrific.
And it's going to be a continuation, maybe. But
So, with
here's-
Sculler and Moldy?
Yeah.
Is it Moldy?
Moldy.
Moldy.
Moldy and Scoldy.
Sculler and Moldy. That's it. All right.
Nailed it.
Anyways.
Yeah, it's not even because of what I've had to drink tonight. That's just because I don't know the characters.
Does anyone? By the way, I'm sorry. I got to do some background. Me and Adam were at a party before we came on this podcast here. So that this explains at least some of what's happening
The
right
chief
now.
editor made me drink.
In terms of the...
Don't say that. There's going to be a PR disaster.
In terms of the comic thing that's going on. What?
Aaron was looking at me with
No, I was thinking how much of a disaster it would be, and it was funny to me. So
I dislike you as much as I dislike I don't know, the Ford F-150.
So they've never...
relations.
They haven't rebooted the storyline outside of the Ultimate series, have they?
Yeah, and the Ultimate series was different. So
I'm talking purely about Spider-Man, just sticking to his example.
They've never done that. They've
I
had
don't
changes
think
in
that's
retcon.
true.
Yeah,
no.
Well, I've read the Spider-Man #1, and it was he was visiting his Uncle Ben's grave, and it was...
Yeah, they're jumping on points because they make it accessible for new readers, but it hasn't been a change.
Don't worry about it. You'll see it.
What?
Maybe.
Okay.
I didn't see
So
it.
Was it me?
No.
No.
Okay.
Was it me?
No.
Because I.
It's never me.
Okay, hang on. Let's put
You're
a
not
pause on
laughing
that. I
stock,
said
it's
something
good.
last week, and I'm not going to repeat what it was, but it was a slip of the tongue, and I really apologize for it. Like honestly, like it was probably one of the worst.
We
things
made
I've
it a
ever
lot
said.
worse than it
We
was.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
didn't
I'm
notice
really
it.
sorry.
I'm wearing the
I'm
headphones.
really sorry about that, but like Spider-Man has never officially rebooted.
Oh, by the way, can we apologize to all residents of Kentucky as well? Just while we're getting
They're living in a horrible place.
I met like at least 2 people from Kentucky. They've both been really friendly to me.
I know one guy from Kentucky, and he's a bouse.
Kentucky residents.
I don't think that was in the podcast.
They
That's
sound
good.
worse than normal residents. All
We're
right.
sorry.
All right.
I was just gonna say that I've bought or purchased many Spider-Man comics in my childhood, and I don't think any of them were from the same story.
No, but they're not. They might not be from the same story, but they're from the same continuity.
Right.
So, for example, a couple
They
years
could take
ago,
place-
Spider-Man had a big event called Spider Island, and so all the comics that were associated
Creative.
with that, yeah, no, it's just go with it.
Seriously, what is going on with this game?
You run out of
That's bad,
ideas
though.
after 40 or 50 years. Come
Yeah.
on now.
That's kind of just as bad because, like, the reason I probably don't read as many comics, and this is probably
'Cause
why
you
they're
have a
rebooting
life.
it. No, is because there's no jumping on point.
Yeah.
Like, I want to read from the beginning, but getting all of those comics and reading up to now and all of those other separate
This
stories.
is,
But
this
here-
is
but
kind of
here's
what
the
I
thing.
want to get at. This is kind of what I want to get at. This whole reboot thing, I think it's a good excuse for them to go back and remake the storylines. Remake them better instead of doing new stuff. Because a lot of fans coming in, they might be interested in the old comics, but they're not going to
know where to start.
buy the old comics
Yeah, I'd
outside
like
of
the
torrenting
first
them.
edition of Spider-Man signed by Stan Lee.
Yeah,
wish
but
10
take,
grand,
take like
like,
the
well,
original
crap.
storyline arcs of these characters. Give them a don't completely change them, but make them, better,
And I can totally
better drawn and everything.
I can totally see what you're saying. Like honestly, I do. Like I'm not trying to be an asshole when I say this, but back in 2000.
Thanks for that, by the way.
Sorry.
That's two.
It's hard to know kind of when we're like
Yeah,
Well,
we're
when
doing
there's
the
a
after
little
kind
show
of
and-
uncensored, but not really.
Oh, we got to take a break at 10 minutes / 10 minutes ago. So, yeah, stay tuned. We'll be back with more spider stuff. And we are back on the Pixel Junkies podcast.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
Now, we were talking about Spider-Man and Marvel's decision to reboot.
Which I'm fine with. Let's move on to the next
I said,
point.
no, I want to
No.
add something. I want to add something. When they rebooted, I wish that they would just have an official comic line. Like, this is the main Spider-Man story. If you want to read the Spider-Man story, you can just read this and you'll get the whole arc. And then if they want to do like side comics or side stories, then they're marked as something else. Like, if I want to read Spider-Man, I don't want to pick up like 5 issues and none of them are part of like the same chronological order.
Generally, that's what most comics are now. Are like that now. Occasionally, and DC's more about this than Marvel is. Although Marvel is guilty of it to a certain extent, they will have a lot of tie-ins. But something that these companies have failed over and over again to realize is people only have so much money, and they're not gonna, unless you're a hardcore comic nerd, which most people aren't. You're not gonna want to pay, $70 a week by every comic coming out of that company to get the full story. So you're really, what they should really focus on is writing good self-contained stories. And if they say, okay, we're gonna do every 2 or 3 years, we're gonna do a cross. So let's say Spider-Man crosses over with Fantastic Four. You say, we're going to have this mini-series, so you can read that if you want, but that's going to be a self-contained story, and it's really not going to affect overly much the main Spider-Man storyline.
And call it like Fantastic Four
Spider-Man.
and X-Men.
Yeah.
Or whatever you
Yeah.
said.
And that's generally what they do.
attention span.
People don't really people don't kind of understand, and that's totally fine, because there's not, like, they shouldn't know, because the companies do a terrible job of advertising that. But back in 2013, 2012, Marvel had a project called Marvel Now where they released a whole bunch of new number ones. And they actually served as a really good jumping on point for a lot of their characters and stories. They had new Avengers. So if you wanted to read about the Avengers, that was a perfect opportunity to come in because most of the stories were self-contained. And you really didn't need to know a lot about the characters' backstories or the backstory of the Marvel Universe to read Avengers number 1 that came out in 2012 because it either explained it in the comic or it didn't matter. So if it wasn't explained in the comic, it didn't matter. You didn't have to go on and read the wiki or Wikipedia or anything about it to understand the characters.
I just had an idea. Every comic that they release should have a timeline somewhere like in the cover on the inside page.
They kind of used to do that.
And would say, like, here's all the stuff that we've made. This is where this comic fits in. So, like, I want to read before, I want to read that, and I want to read after. Then
kind of what the Star Wars books used to do. Star Wars books used to have, like, this is the different timelines. This is when all the novels take place in chronological order. So you're reading this novel. If you wanted to read the stuff that kind of build up to the story here, you read these novels, which is pretty cool.
Have there been any Star Wars novels come out since Disney acquired
There have been a couple based off of, since the reboot of the franchise, of the continuity, there have been a couple based off of the Star Wars Rebels TV show, which is actually a lot better than a lot of people give it credit for. And there's a couple coming out about, like, Darth Vader. Like, there's a Darth Vader story coming out and stuff, and there's Princess Leia. Yeah, so all these are the new canon. So these are So all stories coming in. I would
assume all the Old Republic stuff is canon as well.
No. The only stuff that is canon
still running, though, under Disney.
Yeah. Is it?
I'm pretty sure.
But they have two continuities. There's the legacy continuity, which is the stuff that was before the reboot, and after the reboot, the only stuff that is canon is the films, and Star Wars: The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels TV shows, and then any books published or comics or games published after that point. So that's a whole new continuity, and it's kind of what we're talking about now.
So are they making any new things under the legacy banner, or is it just like old
no?
stuff?
Most of the new stuff is gonna attribute to the new continuity. Which makes sense, but and some people think that that's why Star Wars 1313 was canceled, because it would have been hard to put because it was so involved in the legacy canon. It would have been hard to put it into.
It was about Boba Fett, and they're planning on doing a movie about Boba Fett.
Yeah, right? so that would have been a cool game.
Yeah,
I'm sad that.
But I think it was an origin story, somewhat, and the movie is, I think, going to be an origin story.
Yeah. So
in my eyes, Old Republic is still canon, though.
Yeah, and really, like, technically the canon is anything that has the Star Wars label on it and the LucasArts label on it. It's official canon.
I don't think anything Disney can do movie-wise is going to interfere with the Old Republic stuff that took place thousands of years ago.
No, it's not. So technically you can think of that as canon until Disney says otherwise, but
Disney
they probably
better
won't
not
say.
screw with my Old Republic stuff, I'm telling you.
Anyway, so that's what I think about the new Marvel stuff. Whether or not it'll actually be a completely continuity reboot or just these are the same characters in this new universe will remain to be seen. Hopefully Marvel will come up with new stuff. I highly doubt Marvel is going to eliminate all the old continuity because I think like a lot of their that would anger a lot of their current readers. Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, companies have been known to make bad mistakes, so really only time will tell. Now, something else that happened this week that was kind of interesting, a lot of big announcements from, was the Microsoft conference, in which had a couple of big announcements from. I didn't personally watch it, but I know Aaron and Andrew, you guys watched it.
I didn't watch it.
Or you followed the news from it, is what I mean.
We read articles that other people wrote.
That's basically watching it.
That's like Wikipedia.
Can you give us like a rundown of what happened?
So Windows 10 is coming out.
Why Windows 10? Do you know why it's called Windows 10 and not Windows 9?
Because 8.1 was counted as its own release.
And it was an internal thing, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe.
I think they might have had 9 made, and then they were, I don't know, I guess not sold on its features or its functionality, so they internally scrapped it.
8.1 was technically its own.
Was it?
Yeah. 8.
Windows 3.1 bars?
Yeah.
Classic.
It was 7, 8, 8.1, now 10. Yeah. 8.1 was kind of 9.
Plus 10's a nice even number.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't call it X. I guess because OS X is
Windows X. Yeah, that would have been a whole thing. WinX.
Yeah.
Windex.
Windows.
It is free within the first
Windex
year.
rocks on.
A lot of people are speculating that the way a lot of articles are worded, it's a subscription thing. It's not.
What does that mean?
Like
a monthly.
Oh, really?
But it's not.
It's not though.
Okay.
Like if you have Windows 7 or 8 or 8.1 within the first year of Windows 10's release, you can upgrade for free. So you can
Really?
Yeah, you can.
That's fantastic.
You can purchase a copy of Windows 10.
Do it. I did it with Windows 8, and when I decided to make a new or build a new computer, like more than a year later, the page to redeem the copy of Windows didn't even exist anymore.
You actually have to go ahead with it.
Actually install it. So.
Yeah, so if you have Windows 7, 8, or 8.1, you'll get a free copy of Windows 10 within the first year of its release. After that, you'll have to buy it.
Now, I don't know if this has been announced yet, but like Windows 8 is very much I'm going to call it a phone friendly because it seems very based off of apps and the interface of a phone, which kind of makes sense because that's the format that a lot of people follow. But a lot of people didn't like that for a computer, which is understandable. Is that what Windows 10 is following, or is it harking back to like Windows 7, which was, in my opinion, a really fantastic operating system?
It's more of a blend between the two.
Okay.
I think it's still very PC.
I actually,
absolutely.
I think Windows 8 is the better one for like a lot of what I do on my laptop. I have Windows 8 on my laptop, which is like a lot of like document editing and stuff like that. I think Windows 8 is the nicest one for that.
Well, I use Windows 8 on my laptop and my desktop, and I never go to the...
Is that 8.1?
Yeah.
You never go to the
I guess it's the Metro. That's what everyone calls it, the Metro interface. I don't think that's actually called.
There's no
the start menu.
So like the one that's like actually Windows 8, because I always do the one that's Windows 7. I'm saying with big quotation marks, the one that looks like the regular Windows.
Yeah, that mode is fine. In a lot of ways, it's a lot nicer.
I boot directly into my desktop, and I'm never not in.
Yeah, desktop mode is
that's what I'm used to.
It's fine. There's no big problems with that at all.
So in Windows 8 and 8.1, if you click the Windows button down in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll go to the Metro interface.
Yeah.
Windows 10, the start button is back, but it's like a...
Yay!
It's not a traditional Windows 7 start menu. It'll pop up down like it would in Windows 7, but it would have the apps there as well.
Okay.
So it looks fine to me. It looks good.
Now, I've also heard that we're getting a highly advanced, smart, as they call it, AI program to operate Windows. Can you tell me anything about that?
Cortana.
That was a Halo reference.
We gotta take another quick break. Usually they're not in this close succession, but we had our first one so late.
We'll talk about Cortana.
Rory
after.
messed up.
I did mess up, indeed. And more on that when we come back.
Rory, before you go to break,
Yeah, what's up?
I think you're an excellent producer.
Thank you, man.
But you messed
Round
up.
of applause for Rory.
Thank you.
I'm not
Sound
applauding.
Fair enough.
Rory, Jordan,
You're giving me a ride home, so it's cool.
Yeah.
you're welcome to your own opinion.
Stay
There
tuned.
you go.
And we are back on the Pixel Junkies podcast.
Hey.
Hey.
Howdy.
Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Wait.
Oh, you two.
Okay, so we were talking about Windows.
Talking about
Yeah, we're
Cortana,
talking about
our
Windows,
super
yeah.
advanced Windows 10.
Smart AI.
Smart AI.
Is that actually a thing?
In the Halo
how you know it's
universe,
not
there's
Oh, I
dumb
don't
AI.
care about Halo. Let's move on.
It's Siri, but it sounds like Cortana.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
so-
not.
It's
Jen
not even an
Taylor.
AI.
Is it
not?
Jen Taylor?
I hope
Is that
it
her name?
Don't call
Yep.
it Cortana if it's not.
Yeah.
It is, but
it's
it's not. It's not. It doesn't have the fluidity of obviously like her scripted dialogue because
Is
she's
it
like-
actually Jen Taylor doing the voice? Though?
It better
Sure.
be.
When I heard it, it sounded.
What's the
not-
forecast,
But the
Cortana? It is my little spider. Yeah,
But
thanks,
the problem,
Jen
but
Taylor.
the problem is
Nailed
it's her voice, but because it's like Siri, it's like it doesn't sound like Cortana because it's not scripted dialogue. So instead of like, Chief, we need to infiltrate the Covenant cruisers. Like, Chief, we
Whoa,
need to
when did Jen
infiltrate.
Taylor get here?
Listen, man, like,
Nice.
Chief, I'm much more intelligent than you
Why
are,
couldn't
but
they make it
somehow
like modular?
really
though?
confused in the canon because am I some sort of?
I've always
clone
wanted
of
to
Halo's
do,
brain, or am I
well,
full
I've
on
always wanted to
construct?
be a
I don't
voice
know.
actor, but in particular,
Am I making
I've
mouse?
always wanted to be like the voice on the cell phone, like, you should turn left soon. Like,
Yeah, you can do that very well.
Actually,
At some point in your life, take a left turn when you want it to go right.
There's a left up here somewhere.
Turn left or whatever. I don't care.
man.
oh,
like,
by the way, I would.
there's no left and
We've
right.
got to
I'm
say it.
going,
I've got to say. So
guys, there's
Yeah.
no left and there's no right. There's only the way forward.
the
There's only one direction.
Anyways,
Larry gets up to beat me.
as someone who reviews films, I go see films a fair bit, right? Especially in certain seasons.
I
Like the
hope
fall
so.
season is crazy, right? When September and October, it's just madness, right?
And there's all those new dresses.
And we always see the this like tech guy at the beginning, right? And he's like introduces you to the latest phone, right? But he seems so
God.
excited about it every time. I would like it so much better if he just like treated it like the way I would feel if I was in that job, just like this phone does the same thing as the last one. Get me out of here.
They don't. Some of them are deadly.
Well, some of them do new things. I mean, like, here's what just happened to me. Like, we were just talking about this at the party. Like, I just got a new landline in my house, and like, I'm through it. Like, it's got it's got a speakerphone, and I'm thrilled. Like, speakerphone is totally new for me.
Skype exists.
Yeah, I do use
Free
Skype.
video calling.
But this is like, but free video calling, I feel like I gotta dress up, you know? Like, I gotta look,
No,
I gotta
you
look
can
sexy.
You can whip your junk out all you want. You can do whatever you want.
No, man, if we're doing, if there's a video call going on, I'm looking sexy for that video call. That's
with
what's
your
gonna
junk
happen.
hanging low, right?
Rory, you look sexy all the time.
Thank you, man.
For a video conference call with a client or business or something. It's like, hey,
I
can
whip
we,
my
can
junk
we
back
video
and
call? It's like, it's a Saturday. I mean, my
And
pajamas.
we're off the air.
No.
What was I gonna say? Going back to Windows 10 for a minute. So Windows 10 offers streaming.
Hang on, can I interrupt you? Because we were just talking about Cortana. So what is because I know Cortana's like Siri for phone. Is it kind of a similar thing for Windows where you can say,
she's useless.
like,
So
Cortana, can you book me tickets for American Sniper?
You trying to segue here, Adam?
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm just like, that was the first move that popped in my
Okay.
head.
So on the taskbar, there's going to be a little, it's like a Google search bar down there. Next to it is going to be a microphone icon.
I have a thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Now you elaborate.
So you can type in what you want to search, and she'll be like, just a minute. Or I think you can click the microphone or just say what you want. Like Cortana, do math.
Did they elaborate
And
on...
she'll bring up a calculator for you.
How good is she at like infiltrating the Covenant BattleNet? Because-
Terrible.
Really?
Did they elaborate on her preferences? I'm glossing over that. Did they elaborate on her preferences? Because I read that you can ask her to search the web, and as soon as I've read it, I was like, I bet you can only use Bing. And as you can only use Bing, I'm never using her because I don't use Bing, and nobody in the world uses Bing. Microsoft, get over it.
Peter Parker uses Bing.
Yeah,
but
he used Bing inside of a Bing iframe.
You know, Bing is the preferred search engine for adult content.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
You know
Nobody
what?
uses
It's the default on everything.
Nobody uses
Now,
it.
hang on.
it actually.
Let's get away from
apparently,
that.
it provides.
Is it the
much?
what's it
We're
the
gonna
default
save-
on?
we're
It's only
gonna
the
save
default
that.
on IE,
We're gonna
right?
put a pin
Yeah.
in that, and we're gonna save it for the after show.
Absolutely.
And
just
because we'll go
just
into more
teasing
detail
people
there. Yeah,
like
we're
the
just-
adult content. Go ahead.
So,
On Chrome.
with in terms of the Windows 10 announcement, didn't they also announce some sort of like, I don't know, I really didn't follow this because honestly don't care because I can't hack the modem like Aaron and Andrew can.
I think
can't
I
actually-
deserve some credit for my hacking the modem skills.
Are you talking
Can you
about,
hack the modem?
Yes.
Okay, Jordan, can you hack the modem?
talking about HoloLens?
Okay.
Oh man,
Yeah, so it's like, is it Oculus
when did
Rift?
Commander
Is it-
Shepard get here?
What?
Okay. Is it Microsoft's answer
Remember
to
that part in
Oculus
Mass
Rift
Effect
or
where
Morpheus?
Shepard was wearing Oculus Rift?
Yeah.
Is it Microsoft's answer to Oculus Rift or Morpheus?
No.
It looks much nicer than the Oculus Rift. I'll give
It's
them that.
Microsoft's answer to
Oculus
Google
Rift
Glass.
can
Yeah,
run,
exactly,
like,
yeah.
Okay.
everything.
So
on
can
it.
you? I don't know. Did you want to explain it?
It's just augmented reality. It's like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, by saying hologram, they make it sound
So
really.
Roy
Yeah.
can sit there wearing massive glasses.
Well,
Yeah.
not that big.
You mean his regular glasses?
They look uncomfortably large.
They do look uncomfortably large. Yeah.
But instead of seeing us, or like the computer or whatever,
He would still see us, but he can see other things over
well,
there.
he might have like, he might choose to see us as apes or something, right?
I
Or
mean,
he
he
could be,
basically
with
does
terrible
anyway.
motion tracking.
Yeah,
that jumps like
yeah.
Kinect.
or like playing Halo, with the glasses, and all your friends
Stop
become
talking about
come-
Halo.
Yeah.
It's
Anything
on
but-
purpose. At
You
this
you know
point.
what I'm not excited about?
What?
video games through these kind of things.
Oh, it looks terrible.
I don't mind.
It's
Like
warping.
I was kind of sold on the idea, and I'm probably not going to buy this. If it doesn't work, because I mean they sold us on Kinect with the same sort of tripe.
Yeah.
That didn't really work out at all. But the one thing that really sold me was like TV screens. Like instead of wearing like Rift or another VR system where the entire field of view is a screen, with this augmented reality, they were able to like place a TV on a wall.
Yes, that is
And then
good. Yeah.
it's like it tracks to that spot that you put it.
And you're
So,
able
like,
to size it.
yeah, you can like scale it up and move it around. So like if you wanted to like, I don't know, lie in bed or you're watching something or you're sitting down with somebody, you can like, I'm going to put a screen here and I can still see what I'm doing. And there's sort of like a screen, like picture in picture
You
almost.
can turn on
Yes,
your
yeah,
massive
that
goggles.
is
So, like,
cool.
drain
It would
Like, yeah.
almost, it would almost like make the TV obsolete to the point where like everyone has their own sort of screen. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if they'll get into like co-op sharing where like you can see what I see type thing.
That,
like
that would be cool.
That
Or
is a
even,
very
like,
nice
split screen in a
functionality.
game.
Yeah.
Like I see my screen and you see your own.
Exactly, yeah. But I find in general, like, and this is a little different than a lot of the other stuff. You're right. It's not really like the Oculus Rift in a lot of ways. It's,
Right.
but like when I saw the Oculus Rift, my first feeling was that I'm already immersed enough in video games, sort of like the way I feel about a lot of 3D movies. I've seen, I think, in my lifetime, 2 movies that I thought were made better by 3D, and I've seen a lot of 3D movies at this point.
Was Great Gatsby.
One of them, yes, that's probably the best one, and the
other
second,
was
Iron Man 3. Actually, I think the 3D
And
was
the Electric
phenomenal
Boogaloo.
in Iron Man 3.
I should have seen it because I wasn't a huge
I'm
fan.
surprised nobody has done like a POV movie yet, like with that
3D?
With the 3D, yeah. Because I mean that makes
Blair
makes
Witch
sense.
Project 3.
I mean they've done like there's like
I didn't like that movie.
videos that you can
Did
get for the
Cloverfield
Rift.
come out in 3D?
Nope.
No,
it was 2007, so it was before the 3D craze.
It'd have to be like
That would have been a cool movie to
extrapolated.
do. And that was I think that's an
It would've.
underrated movie.
That would have been.
It's a really good monster movie.
Yep.
People hate it, but I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. Not as good as Super 8 in my opinion because I felt like Super 8 had an
Super 8
overall
was amazing.
stronger
Super 8 was
narrative.
great, yeah.
But
I do happen to prefer J.J. Abrams' television work to his film work, but Super 8 was phenomenal.
I like everything he puts his hands on.
I like a lot of his stuff. I didn't like the latest Star Trek film.
I thought that was good too.
They're shooting Star Trek 3 soon.
Simon Pegg.
Not by J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, Simon Pegg
Yeah.
was announced to write. He's one of the co-writers on Star Trek 3.
He's also one
so-
of the co-stars, right?
Yeah, he plays Scotty.
Yeah, I think we all know,
Cannot
or
hold Captain.
me and Adam both
sorry,
know
Scotland.
who we want to direct the Star Trek film. That's Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah, who played Wesley Crusher. No, I'm just joking. Commander Riker.
Yeah.
He actually directed a fair number of those episodes.
Yeah.
He directed
and
Insurrection.
the films, yeah. In
And
my
he's-
opinion, some of the best films. He did more than Insurrection, I think.
Yeah,
did,
he also did. Did he do First Contact?
he did First Contact, I think,
Which
and
is
maybe
the best
Generations, but at least I think Insurrection and First
I
Contact.
feel like Generations wasn't his fault though. That was the fault of the writers because
I actually
alright,
don't think Generations was anyone's fault. I love Generations.
My only fault with Generations, okay, and to sum it up really quickly, Captain Kirk from the original series and Captain Picard from the Next Generation end up in the same movie together, which is pretty cool. All the Star Trek fans, I've been asking for that for years. But Captain Kirk isn't in that nearly enough to justify. I wish it kind of flipped back and forth between the two more instead of focusing squarely on the Next Generation cast. Because I like Captain Kirk, and I wanted to see a little bit more of him in the movie as opposed to the 20 minutes that he's given out of the entire, 1 hour, 45-minute runtime.
I get that, but I never felt it.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, honestly, I never felt betrayed or anything. But
Oh, I didn't feel betrayed. I just wish he was in there more.
yeah,
Because it does say Star Trek: The Next Generation generations.
Well, it's like I think it was a nice like handing off thing, ceremony,
Apparently the Nintendo
right? Like
neighbors had
if you
got
had a
their hands on Star
ceremony
Trek
and like
forever.
and
so
like
I wasn't big into the series when that came out. Did that movie come out before the Next Generation started?
No.
no, long
It came
after.
after season 7. So season 7 was the last Next Generation season, and then it was
So that movie came out
after.
Ah.
Yeah. And it takes place chronologically after. In the
yes,
series.
they're very good with the films in that regard.
Okay.
And
Well, it's like the Star Trek movies themselves came out much later after the original series came out. It was kind of because the original Star Trek movies came out around the same time as the Next Generation TV show. Was starting on
exactly,
the
yeah.
go. And they're fantastic.
And I think-
no, because Star Trek 1 is one of the worst films I've ever seen ever.
Yeah, the thing with Star Trek, and then they had Star Trek Nemesis, and that was
Trek
sort
the
of
special
a mixed
effects.
reaction. Actually think somewhere in Nemesis is a better movie than people like to admit, but Jonathan Frakes didn't direct that, and I think, and I could be wrong, I don't want to put words in his mouth. I think he kind of felt he could have done a much better job.
Who
Probably
played the
could.
villain in Nemesis?
That was Tom Hardy as Praetor Shinzon, which
Praetor
was
of the Romulan Empire.
yes, which is the role that solidified for me that I really believe that Tom Hardy should be Lex Luthor, not just because he has a shaved head, but like I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but the key dimension I've always felt of Lex Luthor's character was he's a guy who has like all these material things, like a lot of the sort of things you could name on a checklist, and that he still seems kind of envious of of Superman, and that's exactly Shinzon's situation with Picard.
Yeah.
He has all these all this power, all this military strength, and he's envious
he's
of
the
the
lead-
family life that Picard has with his crew.
And even like one of the best parts of that movie was when Picard because Picard originally they're not enemies in that Picard is sitting down to dinner and he wants to talk to him because he's a clone of Picard, and Shinzon goes, well, were we always warriors? He's like, no, we were never warriors. In fact, we were explorers, and I was the first member of the Picard family to ever leave the solar system. And it was really cool interaction.
great
that
scene,
way.
yeah.
So he would make a really good Lex Luthor. By the way, I found out today Lex Luthor is the smartest man in the DC universe on Earth. He's the smartest human. He's smarter than Batman. He's smarter than the Atom. All the other characters.
If he's so smart, how can Superman defeat him every time?
Because he has the help of either the Justice League, and Lex Luthor has his megalomania and his insanity prevents him from enables flaws in this plan. But he's still really intelligent. So it'd be like me, if I were to plan to take over the world, I'm stupid enough to leave flaws in my plan that I wouldn't oversee.
And plus, there's some amount of raw strength. I'm pretty smart, but Brock Lesnar could walk in and beat the daylights out of me.
I don't know if that's true.
That I'm pretty smart.
He's a little wimp.
How stupid would it be if a twist in the DC canon, which I've come to realize there isn't one, if
What do you mean?
all... What?
What do you mean there isn't?
Because there's like 16,000 canons, like Marvel.
Well, there's really
DC.
only the main one, and there's a couple of offsprings.
Yeah, go on with your bad self.
Okay.
That's not true.
If every Lex Luthor failure, he's so smart that he's orchestrated every single one just to build something up. It's all leading to this one thing, and every time he's seemingly failed, quote unquote,
That would honestly,
it's leading to this huge thing.
That would require so much planning, though.
if handled correctly by the right author, and it would have to be the right writer or author to do it, that would actually make a really compelling crossover, a major event story.
You hire for that. Just retroactively go back and look at all of his flaws and then craft it into a story. And
Well,
you have to
that's
go
the
with-
thing.
yeah.
That's the thing. You would need to get a guy who was really Jeff
Goldblum.
No, not Jeff Goldblum.
Why not?
I think you should get Jeff Goldblum to do it.
I'm not
Everything he
thinking-
touches is gold. Bloom.
There's a particular writer who's really in love with Superman, and he has this.
And whip your gut out again.
Anyway, I see what you mean though, because most writers wouldn't be able to handle. I certainly couldn't be able to write a story like that.
No.
But it'd be interesting, yeah. It's the thing. He's smart. He's one of the smartest humans, but he still has a lot of flaws. Like the Riddler. The Riddler's a really smart character, but he always, because of his psychosis, he leaves clues. He has to do it. And I think because of Lex Luthor's insanity, he has to leave flaws to his plan because he needs to be defeated. So, anyway, can we just talk about DC now?
Yes.
Because that kind of leads into the DC. So DC, they announced a little while ago, but more information came out today about it. DC in April, the same time that Marvel is, shocker, is also having a big. It's not a reboot to the series, but it's something called Convergence, in which they're putting a halt to all their current storylines, and they're having 40 two-issue miniseries, and then a kind of
40, 2 issue?
Yeah, so 40
Oh,
40
God.
different comics, and each of them get 2 issues. And they're bringing back all of the old teams and all the old stories that people may have missed over the years. So Teen Titans from the 1980s, which haven't existed since the 1980s, they're coming back in a 2-issue comic form. And a lot of people think if those comics sell well, then they'll be introduced into the main DC universe after this event is
Wasn't
over.
there a show? Was that canon?
The Teen Titans show?
Yeah.
It's canon in its own universe. And a lot of elements from the show were then adapted into
Go
the
away.
comic.
17,000 different
Go
canons.
away! This is madness. There's no timeline. There's no continuity.
There is!
There's no, there really is not.
There is.
I'm fine that there isn't, but you can't say there is.
There is.
Sometimes.
There 100% is. Because I read comic books a lot because I have no life.
But that's why it's hard to get into.
And I totally understand. Like, I'm not begrudging people. When people say it's hard to get into comics, I 100% relate to that because it is really hard to get
Exactly.
into
Just look at, if you try to start reading Batman comics, I encourage you to look
Where
at
do
a
you
list
start?
of what order they want
Yeah,
you to
where do you
start
start?
in.
But here's the thing. A good writer, so let's say...
You start at year 1, by the way. Or Long Halloween.
That was a good one. Long Halloween might be my
Where do
favorite.
you get all those
Batman.
now? Like,
In the trade.
what?
In the trade.
What is that?
It's a collection of the entire story in one single graphic novel form as opposed to the individual issues.
Which is fine, but they're $600.
The Killing
They're
Joke.
100% that they're maybe $20, $30.
What? Where to?
Everywhere. Most
In the
trades
trade.
are only 20, 30.
Is there like a-
You're
This
talking
This is
about
just something
the big
comic book
omnibus.
people say.
Like there are trades out there that are like hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but they're the big omnibuses. So every year Marvel comes out with like Marvel Omnibus number volume whatever, and it's all of their comics from that year. So it's like 300 different.
By the way,
comics.
omnibus is one of my favorite words.
But it's
it's
understandable why
an
it's so expensive because it's a big
all-seeing
hardcover and
bus.
it's three.
Is there like a Netflix
like an all.
for comics?
That's true. Can we get a shirt
do you
with a
mean?
bus on it?
There
It says
actually
omnibus.
kinda is.
Yes.
Can you pay like $6 or $7 a month and get access to any comic you want?
What was that Marvel PlayStation?
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm sorry, but I want to focus in on what Aaron just said.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat what you just said? Can you do something?
Is there a Netflix for comics?
And there should be. I was going through my journal the other day. I keep a journal of just random stuff that I do, and ideas that I have, half movie reviews and stuff like that. And one of the pages was Netflix for comic books.
But here's the thing:
There was.
I've
kind
secretly
of-
been reading
What
your,
was that?
journal
Sorry,
entries.
Adam. What was that?
Yeah.
What was that Marvel thing?
There's a Marvel app where you can buy all the comic books,
Right.
but you
Yeah,
have
but I
to
don't
pay
wanna-
for
I
them
don't wanna do that.
individually.
Oh,
There
did
should
it?
be a Netflix for comic
Yeah.
books.
There
That is a
should be.
brilliant
There should be.
idea.
That would be excellent if you could pay a flat subscription to Marvel and you get so let's say
$10.99 a month, access to all the comic
Not
books,
$11 a month.
all the comic books, all the movies, and all the TV shows.
It's tough because you
no.
want to if you do Netflix.
they would never go for that. But
Yeah, if you want to do Netflix for comic books, you want to be as much as or less than Netflix. That's the thing because the idea is to make it good for new people, right?
Yeah.
And it's tough to convince people to, on top of their Netflix subscriptions or their Crave TV subscriptions or whatever they use,
Yeah.
to purchase something that's more expensive than that subscription.
enough,
You can convince less.
so would you guys agree that I read the most comic books out of all of you guys?
Yes,
Yeah.
I would.
Okay.
I would
No, Adam.
agree that you.
I think you're a close second to me.
I think
You
you
read up to 10 comics a week.
No.
Yeah, I would say you read more than all of us
How long are
squared.
comics?
Are
Are they 6 pages? Because when I used to buy them when I was a kid, they were 3 pages of comic and then 4 ads.
For
It's
Super
like,
Nintendo games.
it's like a Playboy magazine.
It's generally 30, 40 pages, and then out of that, maybe 5 are ads.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's worse than that.
It is not, Jordan.
I think they're and how much.
Okay,
would it
how
cost
could
that
this be
cost?
something you guys disagree on? It
$3 or
either
$4?
is or it isn't.
There's so many ads in these comic books.
Do you guys read different comic books or something? You're saying there's barely any, and you're saying there's a
they're not
lot. You
barely
both
many,
read
but I'm
comic
just saying
books.
there's
What happens here?
4, 5, or 6 ads per comic. 4, 5, 6 pages of ads.
Anyway, regardless of the ads,
I'm still waiting on my X-ray specs.
yeah, really though.
Stupid.
That's a really...
I don't know. I wouldn't be able to justify the expense. I mean, if you read, however many issues are in a comic series, hundreds. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
and it is, but I
would just
really
assume
like the
get,
stories
a
that much.
300 or 400 page graphic novel that I can actually sit down and thumb through without taking 10 minutes to read a 30-page comic or however long it takes.
But that's what it is. A lot of writers now write their stories so that they can fit in graphic novel format. So they write 5 or 6 issue story like 5 or 6
Segments,
issue
yeah.
story segments. So they like, for example, Batman. When Batman launched back
Buffy.
in 2011, they had a storyline called the Court of Owls, and that was a 10 issue long storyline that was split up into 2 different trades: Court of Owls Part 1, Court of Owls Part 2. So if you didn't buy the issues as they came out, you can then buy the Court of Owls Part 1, and that was issues 1 through 5, and then you can buy Court of Owls Part 2, which was issues 6 to 10. And then that was your story. And then it would take you maybe an hour to read through those because it's 5 comic issues.
I still think they should have Netflix for comics.
I'm
I
not
agree.
disagreeing
I think
with
that's a
you.
brilliant idea,
but
actually.
There's so much storage space for all those
Yeah,
books.
we're coming up on the conclusion of the radio
I
show.
haven't gotten to say my thing. Just hold
You
on.
haven't gotten to say your thing? Okay.
No, what I'm saying is a good writer has when he takes Batman's
only
coming
one
up
that's
on
talked.
issue 45. If a new writer was to take over Batman at issue 45, he could write it so that a new person could join in on Batman issue 45, not know any of the stuff that happened beforehand, and still be invested in the storyline. That's what happened with Batgirl in number 35. At Batgirl 35, a new writer took over, and I started to read it, and it got me reading Batgirl because it was a new continuity, new stuff was happening.
So did they call it number 45?
No, they call it number... well, yeah, they did.
They should have called it number 1 then if they're starting over.
No, they're not starting over, but
Well,
you
that's
don't
a new
need to read the
continuity.
previous stuff.
Yeah, but how would you know?
Story.
How would I know? Because I don't know. They would just
Not how would you know. He means how would
mean,
one know.
If a person went into the store and was like, I want to read Batman, they're like, oh, number 45. This is the start of a new storyline.
I guess you ask people.
No, I think they should just... If it's a different story arc and it's unrelated to the previous comics, it should just be a new...
Most comics like have the Amazing Spider-Man number 67, and then it'll say the
Venom Saga Part 3 or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what...
So each saga will be self-contained as long as you start at the number 1 issue.
Yeah, we're going to have to clue up now. We're about 2 minutes away from the end of the radio show.
Okay.
Just wanted to remind people that if they want the full show, they can go onto YouTube, type in Pixel Junkies, or go onto PixelJunkies.ca, potentially. Well, they're still going to get the full show when they go onto PixelJunkies.ca, no matter
Right,
what.
it'll still be there.
Yeah, whether we
Just
launch
And
the
there
new
might be
website
some
or not.
bleeps that we avoid.
I'm
You'll
sorry?
get the whole uncensored.
Any slip-ups
we
we've
won't
had.
cut out those 2 bits.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because there's no point.
Like when I
Yeah.
say ass right now.
Yeah, well, we wouldn't cut that out anyways, but yeah.
Ass is okay?
But yeah, that's fine.
How many asses can I have?
It's like
Let's
it's
limit-
like in that episode.
That's a
of Futurama
really
where Bender
philosophical
finds out he can say
question,
ass.
I
He's
think.
like ass.
Yeah, so thanks for tuning in. Please tune in for the... No, don't say please. That sounds weird.
We actually outroed this time. Good job, guys.
Yes, yeah. The last time we go to an hour and 4 minutes and find out that the radio show is over and just cuts off.
Like the Price is Right outro.
So thanks for tuning in. Join us for the Pixel Junkies after show.
See you
See you
elsewhere,
later.
everybody.
Bye.
And we are back for the Pixel
Hello,
Junkies
YouTube.
after show, which means that I'm gonna get to start my 2 topics.
Ass fuck.
I had 2 topics today, so I want
Can we pause you for a second?
Hold up,
Let's
we've
go
been
back.
pausing everybody the whole fucking day.
We were talking about adult content, and
Yeah.
I forget what we were talking about. Do you
Bing and
remember?
Chrome.
We're talking about Bing.
Bing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wait, hold on.
word.
But isn't Bing only the default on IE? Like,
It's the default on Xbox as well. It's the Microsoft default.
yeah, but yeah, it's not the
That's
default on
Microsoft's
like. If
only
you have Chrome, it's
freaking
not the
option.
default on
Say
Chrome,
fuck. I don't want to say
No.
freaking.
right? Like, or like Mozilla. Is it the default on Mozilla?
I don't know, man. Does
You
anyone
know,
use Bing?
of
Does
course
anyone
you
here
know
use
it.
Bing?
What?
I use Bing to get Google.
Gorgera.
What search engine do you use?
What do you mean? That
What do I
is
mean?
that a browser?
He's a giant
I'm just doing a
fire-breathing
survey.
lizard.
Oh,
What search engine do you use, right?
Technically, it's
I use
Google.
Google.
It's
Obviously
100%
you use Google.
radiation.
So
That doesn't really make a
5
lot
out
of
of 5
sense.
people in this room use Google. So fuck you, Microsoft.
well, I mean,
Bing!
yeah.
ouch.
I actually use my
the sound of your
own.
dick getting hard
I've
over
hacked
your,
the modem and I've developed my own.
You realize that hacking a modem is something you can actually do.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I've hacked it and I've
Oh.
created my own search engine. It's called hackthemodem.com.
All right.
Don't go there.
See
You
if
might
that's the
actually
website.
get a
Check it.
virus.
Hack the
don't
modem.
actually go.
Yeah, it saves the website.
Go to www.
Hack the model.
Hack the model.
Uh-oh.
We might get some weird
Are you
stuff.
typing that into Bing? And that's adult content.
Go to GoDaddy. You guys, bam.
Okay. So
Go to
what were
GoDaddy.
your what were your 2 things?
Yeah.
All right, so can you-
What were your 2 things
diverge
you were
a
going
bit.
to talk about?
Yeah. So the first of which is we were talking about the Elder Scrolls Online last week, and we mentioned
Can you never mention that game again?
they might. We kind of have to.
The free
because,
subscription. All right, I got it out of the way.
Like,
In March.
I actually
There you
think, and like that's cool. They went free. Like pretty much everyone predicted that. I think.
It's not.
But when it's not free, I
but-
should say once you buy it, which I have already bought it, and as of you, which
Yeah.
means we'll actually be able to do a video on it.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
It's coming out for PlayStation 4 as well.
Yes, it is.
Sweet.
But actually,
Modem is available cheap.
HackTheModem.com is available for $4 if you would like to purchase it.
Can we change that from Pixel Junkies to Hack the Modem?
We can forward it, but I'm not paying for it.
Sweet.
Make sure you do it before either Saturday. Well, actually, this isn't going to be in the Saturday show. Do it before Monday, otherwise someone might take that.
So-
Nobody watches this anyway, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
so
And by nobody, mean 100,000.
like I think Elder Scrolls Online leads into a really convenient conversation, and Jim Sterling did a video about this recently. If you don't watch Jim Sterling, please start.
Wait, why
Watch our
not?
stuff
Why
first,
watch
though.
him and not watch us?
Yeah, watch us.
Well, if you're listening to
Hey.
this, you're already watching us, so you've already
You hope.
started. Yeah. So I recommend watching that. But
Also, yes.
I want
Elder Scrolls.
yes.
Yeah. What about it? It's
I just wanted to mention that it's free, but it leads into
it's
a
going
convenient
free.
like conversation I think about DLC.
Yeah.
And because it's a franchise that in the past has succeeded so well with DLC, I think Jim Sterling makes really the key point that sums up my opinion. He used to say this about Skyrim: the DLC is the best kind, the kind you don't need.
right.
That's an important point.
Yeah.
DLC, you're not supposed to need it to complete the game.
Yeah.
And I feel like too many games are being released as pieces of games to us for full game price.
Like, and I know we harp on this a lot, but Call of Duty, all their DLC is maps.
Yeah.
They could easily be released as part of the full game, but Activision knows that people will pay for those DLC maps to get access.
Yeah,
to
and
the
that's
maps.
why I hate Call of Duty. Go away. Like,
I
Rockstar
go
thought
off the
you.
got
map.
I thought you hated Call of Duty because the people that play it.
I hate that too.
Oh.
He just hates the whole thing.
I hate the whole franchise. I hate the whole idealisms behind it. It's garbage.
Idealisms.
Yeah,
Do you hate Halo for the same reasons?
similar reasons, yes.
Why do you hate Halo, really?
What? Because it takes 1,000 shots to kill a fucking alien. That's why I fucking hate
You're
Halo.
terrible.
Like I think
Piece of shit.
like
Maybe you didn't suck at the game.
like it
Let's
kind
move
of
on.
surprises me, and I feel like to be honest, I feel like Elder Scrolls Online, I'm not sure if it is that way, but it felt that way when I heard that some of its content is locked by DLC, like some of the regions of Tamriel. Because at first it's being pitched as Elder Scrolls Online, you're going to get to go through all of Tamriel. But no, you're going to pay $70. Then you're going to play, because they did have at the time monthly subscription fee.
Well,
and then
the monthly subscription is kind of staying around. If you're familiar
Yes.
with the
ESO
Old
Plus.
Republic model, where you've got
premium.
free players, preferred players, and subscribers.
Old
Exactly.
Republic is in the MMO, or
Yeah, the
okay.
MMO.
Okay.
Yeah.
Subscribers level up faster.
Exactly.
Well, they can.
Yeah.
They get a monthly credit
XP
amount,
boost?
like money amount.
Mm-hmm.
You can use the money to buy experience boost. And I read that the ESO Plus or whatever it's called.
That's
for
right,
Elder
ESO
Scrolls,
Plus, I think. Yep.
They get some sort of boost.
Yeah.
And I think they level up quicker.
I
than
don't think that's
non-subscribers.
fair.
I think
Personally,
that's...
I think if you're willing to pay for it, you can have whatever you want. But I don't think it should be a massive
That still
multi.
breaks the game.
Yeah, I don't think it should be an online playable game. Like you should not be.
I think
able to
that
interact with other
anything
people.
goes in single player
stupid.
games, but when you start to
Yeah.
get into multiplayer games, there's a
I
completely
still
different
have
set
a
of
problem
rules.
with single.
Definitely.
Man, these headphones are gone.
Oh.
Whoa.
I can hear that.
Yeah,
Alright, so our
No,
levels
I mean, like,
might
I can
suck
hear
for
it
the
from
rest
over
of the
here.
video.
Just
it's all good. I don't need them. I'll do it by sight.
We'll do
Okay.
it live.
So if we're really quiet for the rest
Yeah.
yeah.
I understand them releasing newer content after
Let's
the development
not be
cycle.
assholes.
After development cycle, if they start working on new content and release the content, after the game was launched and all that stuff, I don't really have a problem with that, especially if it's not sort of paramount to completing the game.
That's why Bethesda DLC works, because it's developed after the release.
Even for an MMO
Yeah.
though. Like if it's like you need this in order to get a certain thing to beat the game or would help you, like that's kind of iffy. But if it's like a new area that was developed entirely after the game came out, which is sometimes hard to figure out if they made it actually after the game, because it's not rare these days to hear about a game that's not even out yet, and then they announce DLC. It's like, the game's not out yet.
Evolve,
Why are you talking about
Evolve had DLC announced before the game was announced.
It's like, don't do that.
Well,
What?
it was announced at the same time.
Is it free?
The DLC?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
The DLC was leaked.
And I agree with what
Stupid.
Jim said about this. Well, I don't know if you saw this video,
I did, yeah.
which is like, it's not necessary. It feels like a scam is the worst part. I'm not sure if that's the word he used, but it feels bad when they do that. It feels like you're only going to get a piece of the game, which is why, like, Skyrim, I have 2 copies of Skyrim. I have the PlayStation 3 copy and my PC copy, and I don't have any DLC for my PlayStation 3, but I've put a ton of hours into that copy.
Yeah.
Like, you could totally experience a complete game. Beyond a complete game. Like, my dad plays Skyrim.
And
I think he has 1,000 hours into it.
I don't think the DLC actually added anything to it.
Your dad is
like,
cool, Rory.
Yeah.
Like Hearthfire, like...
Nothing really beneficial.
Well, Hearthfire didn't add much to it.
But I thought it was cool. Like, it's a cool factor.
But I mean, I think having Solstheim was interesting. It would be better if it wasn't Solstheim and it was some other place.
The problem with ESO, and I got another point I want to go to after this, is it locks you out of things. Like, it completely goes against what the Elder Scrolls, I guess, tradition is.
The wander anywhere approach? I agree.
Yeah, like, you can't, like, in ESO, you can't go to Solitude, the City of Solitude, until you're, like, level 20.
Yeah. And on top of that, like,
what is that?
even the areas you can go
now-
in, like, say, if you pick the Old Married Dominion, start out in, like, the islands, right?
Yeah, it makes sense that you would start in different areas,
But
you can't even
even within that island, you can walk anywhere, but you will swiftly be killed by something. Like, no matter what, like, higher areas in the island are just higher level opponents.
Now,
unless you pay,
fuck
then
that.
you don't have to grind.
No, fuck that.
Yeah.
now
Like, that's the bullshit that's behind this, like, commercialism. Like, get over it.
This
Make
kind
a
of
good
brings
game and then fuck off.
Yeah, this kind of brings me back to the you said single player anything goes, and you kind of agreed, where you could pay money.
I got Family Guy game on my phone. It's pretty cool. I don't mind paying $10 every now and again to get it.
Yeah, but you spent
Gene
like $3,000 on that
Yeah,
game.
but guess what? I got Gene Simmons in it. I got Jesus. Jesus is a character in it. I got Santa.
Yeah.
I got some cool. I got
Who the fuck cares?
what's her name? Redhead. She's
You don't even know. Candy
no, the good looking one from
Lindsay Lohan?
No,
Allison Hannigan.
No, the other one from all the Joss Whedon, and
Allison
Captain
Hannigan.
Hammer.
Allison
Felicia
Hannigan.
Day?
Felicia Day.
Felicia
I got
Day's
Felicia-
fantastic.
I have her in the
Allison
game.
Hannigan.
So, like, that's something I was like, fuck it, I'll put $2 or $3 down on that.
When a developer realizes that he can put in, I guess, paid, I don't know, fast forward content in the game.
It's so tempting.
Like, I don't want to grind for 6 hours.
Oh, right. No, yeah. I think...
I don't want to grind for 6 hours to beat this level, so I'll pay $10.
I think I should have clarified my meaning. I don't mean anything goes in terms of pay things. I mean anything goes in terms of I don't mind if you have an unfair advantage in the game. Like, that's what I mean. Like, I wasn't thinking about, like, the paying to get experience. I was thinking about just the becoming godlike idea, like cheat codes in a single player game.
Well,
I'm
it's
cool
essentially
with
what
those.
you're paying
That's
for
what I
cheat
was
codes
referring
now.
to. Yeah, I mean, otherwise, I do have a problem with the problematic game design in single player.
Assassin's Creed Unity is a major culprit of this, where you could spend 20 hours getting some money or getting this awesome weapon, or you can pay $20 right off the, right from the start.
Yeah,
It
to
used
me
to
that's
be
just
so
bad
much
game
fun
design.
to play an
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
And then it turned into that shit.
And it didn't. The craziest thing is it didn't even used to be that long ago. Like
Yeah, I
Black
know.
Flag. Look, and I
But
mean,
Black Flag was kind of
Shut
like
up.
on the
Shut
peak
up.
of that. They were getting pretty close to having paid, like, pieces, and like nothing really mattered anymore. Like, when I got a sword in Assassin's Creed 2, that was a big deal to me.
Yeah.
Like, there were some extra little tiny swords that you could get, and that was fine. But doing 20 quests to get a sword was a cool thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going and fucking paying $20 for it? Fuck that.
When you unlocked upgrades and all that?
That was that was
felt
fucking badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree,
Yes.
actually. And but like, it's an interesting thing with Assassin's Creed. It's a shame because when we talk about Call of Duty, and we bash Call of Duty a lot in
It's
this
shit.
show, like,
Now hold on the bus.
it was a long time you have to go back kind of far, at least in my Call of Duty playing history, to find a Call of Duty game I liked. Whereas with Assassin's Creed, like when Unity came out, I never suspected that it was going to be bad, but I was upset. I'm like, I still haven't gotten a chance to do everything in Black Flag.
Unity is not a terrible game. I should say that.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's a decent game.
Did they give up on the story? Okay, so like this is
the story is all right. It's not as good as Black Flag.
Like Desmond just dropped dead.
Desmond's long gone. Unless you follow the theory that he's actually like his consciousness is trapped inside the Animus, like the last Subjects was.
Oh, Subject.
But I just don't understand, like, why have this awesome, elaborate fucking story about Desmond and just be like, no, this is about Abstergo. Fuck that.
Probably Nolan Orr
because they probably wanted a jumping on point, like you would with.
No, but like, why can't people just end shit? Like, it should fucking end.
I know what you mean, and actually, and I am more familiar with TV than I am with video games, but I think, like, in TV, it's totally okay to end stories, and that's something TV fans need to learn.
Make a new show.
Like, to me, like, I'm not saying I wouldn't like to see another season of Angel. My favorite show of all time.
Yeah.
Well, that was cut short.
More than Cliff
And it was cut short because they wanted to do more seasons. But even still, I felt very satisfied with the run of the series.
Yeah.
It felt complete to me. And you can always continue that sort of thing in comic books or some other sort of medium.
Right.
Joss Whedon's always sort of had a good skill at ending shows prematurely, primarily because most of them were canceled.
Yeah.
But like Dollhouse, the way they ended Dollhouse, it was a fantastic ending. I don't know if they could have had a better ending if they had 10 more seasons.
Yeah, and I don't think... Yeah, exactly, yeah. And that whole last, like, second half of season 2 was so strong. It really built in that show, like, figured itself out partway through.
Watch Dollhouse, good show.
Yeah, really underrated.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, all Joss Whedon's, like, main shows are on Netflix now, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what's the worst thing you'll probably ever watch in your life?
That Bigfoot film where he's like he just like spies on people who are gone camping. Yeah, that's on Netflix too.
Oh, that's the one where the
Dimmy.
girls like take their shirts off and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I saw it.
That one.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
How did you? I'm sorry to totally.
Well, you
derail
go
this
through Netflix and you see those movies that are rated 2 out of 5, and you see some like sexy girls on the cover. You're like, one of them's gonna get naked during this.
2 out of 5, sexy girl, definitely tits.
Yeah,
I was going through the movie. I was trying to find a cue so I could find out that it was Canadian because it felt distinctly Canadian.
Was it Canadian?
It's gotta be, right?
It's gotta be.
Anyway, what was it? What is it?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie.
Oh, you watched it?
I heard it was bad.
It's good.
Oh, you finally watched it, right?
Jordan, shut up. You're not a kid.
Was it? I said it was a prequel to the show. Is it actually a prequel to the show?
No. It's a prequel in that a lot of the elements from the movie carry over to the TV show, but it's basically like a different guy. It would be like writing a Batman story. It's like Batman Year One, where a lot of the elements from Batman Year One ended up becoming part of the
Christ.
It's like
So much comic
it's like if
stuff.
Aaron was not an asshole for a second of his life, and then you had a TV show where Aaron was an asshole. A lot of the comments or the stuff from the movie where Aaron wasn't an asshole could probably translate over to the TV show where he was an asshole. But at the end of the day,
There is
Aaron's
actually an
asshole.
alternate universe.
I want to see a comic book where Aaron is Batman.
I don't, because he wouldn't be able to fit the thing on his face.
Batman,
Good Aaron.
Batman, the
Goatee.
Riddler has robbed the bank. We need you to help it.
Evil Abed or something.
Yeah,
Evil.
No, if I was Batman, I'd be like, no.
that's from Star Trek.
I'm gonna drive this fucking car down the road,
Goatee.
and I don't give a
Or
fuck.
Fucking Community. Man.
Can we? Is the Riddler robbing a PC store where I can upgrade my PC because PCs are better? No, I don't care because PCs are better. I'm gonna go home and play my PC.
By the way, people remember specific like television references in Community,
Why
things
don't
like
you just hack
Cougar
the
Town and
modem, Adam,
whatnot.
and get a better
There are a
computer?
lot
I don't know.
more
Why
than
don't I
people
do
realize. Like really small stuff. Like I go through and I'm like, man, they mentioned like 20 TV shows in this episode. Oh, by the way, can we all sit down next weekend and watch Cougar Town? I've never seen it. Can we watch some episodes of Cougar Town?
No.
Is anyone in?
I'll tell you, you can watch like 3 minutes of Cougar Town from YouTube after we finish recording.
I know where you were going with it.
I think that will satisfy.
I'm
your
really
curiosity.
interested to see what it's like, just because the guy who like ran the network it was being aired on publicly said it was awful.
What?
It got like 1,000 seasons.
What happened?
It's on their last season right now.
I thought you were going to say
Season
1,000
8?
viewers. That would have been hilarious.
They're on their last season right now. I think it's season 6 or 7.
Okay.
What do you ask?
Come on, Adam. We got like 5-6 minutes left.
Julia
Really?
Roberts to star in and produce Bat Kid movie. Feature will be based on the Bat Kid Begins documentary.
DC needs
Julia
to fuck
Roberts
out.
is trying to adapt the dramatic feature film version of Bat Kid's story based on the documentary Bat Kid Begins.
What the
what?
fuck?
Oh, it's about
Yeah, that little kid who saved the town because like
Yeah.
he had cancer or something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That was the act. Don't make a fucking movie about it. The kid.
Didn't they announce like a Supergirl movie or some
Jesus
shit?
Christ! What's that?
They announced like a Supergirl movie. Like, what is that?
Oh, you know
TV
what?
show, TV
they,
show.
They should fucking they should
By the
make
way,
Julia Roberts.
Are you
stuff?
Are you excited for Powers
Christ.
with Charlton Copley? Charlton Copley?
Yes.
fuck.
I've tried. I have this thing, right? About. I try to avoid it. It's a really tough temptation to avoid, and I really try, like, getting really excited about a movie because of an actor.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do it. It's really tough. It's like you always have to be fighting against it because I've realized that so many times the actor is just ends up being such a small part of the movie.
Yeah.
And like especially the one that really did it in for me was Runner. Right?
They're gonna say Godzilla.
Runner has Ben Affleck, who I like a lot.
Let them fight.
And it also has Justin Timberlake, who's good in the right roles.
He is, yeah,
He's
yeah.
another one of these self-aware actors like The
Yeah,
Rock, which I
yeah,
like.
yeah.
It has Gemma Arterton, who is in.
He was good in Independence Day.
She's awesome.
Gemma Arterton was also in. She was in Hansel and Gretel. I love that movie.
She was
I
also,
would've went
wasn't
with
she in,
Bob.
like,
Okay.
Godfather Part 4.
There was no Godfather Part 4.
Yeah, but she was in it, wasn't she?
No, there was no.
You mean
Like
the
no one
porno
was in it. Like
version?
I was in it and you were in it, logically speaking, because it doesn't exist.
Godfather Part 9.5.
Wait, that's no, you're wrong. But I'm gonna.
No, we're allowed to. You're allowed to say that. It's the. Have you
It's
ever
like
heard
adding
the,
zeros after decimal, is it?
Well, have you ever heard the song "All My Exes Live in Texas" by George Strait? Oh my
Yeah,
exes
We're gonna
live
get
in
flagged,
Texas.
Rory. We're gonna get flagged.
That is the most
Like,
popular song
No,
ever written.
so
on.
the thing is, no,
Moving
but I haven't made my point about the George Strait track.
Like 2 minutes left.
We have 12 minutes left.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay, never mind.
So, anyways, since I have no exes, I can say all my exes live in Texas, just like I can say all my exes live in Toronto and all my exes live in Scarborough and all that stuff. I know that's weird, but I think that's technically true.
Not in math logic, yes it is, but in
Yes,
real
not in like real
logic,
life.
it
Yeah,
doesn't.
it's not like
You have
useful.
to
Yeah,
stock
but I think that's true in math
Rory,
logic. I never
I don't-
covered that in my logic courses, but yeah, go ahead.
Rory, math stopped making sense for me when somebody was like, let's take a donut and put a graph on that for some reason.
Yeah, that's right. I did say that to Adam once.
Let's ruin snacks.
Yeah, so I just want to verify here. Cougar Town on May 10th.
That's a big-ass
I'm
screen.
quoting Wikipedia, 2014.
Big-ass.
TBS renewed Cougar Town for a
just
6th and
fart.
final season. They've done 91 episodes. Like,
Wow.
picture that for a second. Almost 100 episodes. I'm presuming by the end of the
That's
sixth
at least
season.
4 seasons.
Who watches this? Apparently, a lot of people.
At least.
U.S. viewers alone, the pilot got 11.28 million.
What network?
Now, mind you,
It's because it's Courtney Cox.
well, also like TV ratings are, to quote Joe Rogan,
she on
voodoo.
Seinfeld?
It's like, let's get that out of the way. TV
She married
ratings.
to Will Arquette?
No, she was married to David Arquette, and that's Will Arnett from Arrested
I know,
Development.
I know. I was making it really stupid.
I'm gonna
Sorry.
tell you right now, my old CRT TV
Yeah?
Yeah.
defined what was popular. Whatever that TV would watch would bump the ratings up by 6 million views. I'm not even joking.
Is that the TV you had to turn on with a pool kit?
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
hack the
Did you
modem?
have one of the boxes that they used
was
to
bef-
measure the
What?
viewer? Ow. Because you used to have to sign up for that.
No.
Jordan was just like flicking his TV on and off with the friggin' pool cue.
Now now it's all
viewers
digital. They
shooting
can they can monitor that stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm saying this.
But I'm
this
pretty sure
was
you used
no.
to have to
this
get
TV
a box installed, and that's how they would
That's
get the ratings.
bullshit.
That's how they did it, Jordan.
Yeah, they're gonna get to 102 episodes.
Yeah.
What network is it on, Rory?
TBS.
TBS.
Yeah.
Peach
Has anybody
Street.
seen The Flash? No.
I don't like the frame rate on it.
All right, like here's the thing. My thing.
It's British frame rate.
It's British frame rate.
Yes, look at BBC shows. It's the same frame rate as.
It needs to be fast so you can.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Again, I just have this thing about not judging shows and movies and stuff. Well, partially based on actors, but I try not to judge them at all beforehand, right? If I can avoid it, unless I have legitimate, like, sort of critical reasons.
Yeah.
The Flash has one of the worst trailers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I could roll really fast.
It's so bad.
And save humans by doing
Do you
it.
have a 240 Hz TV, Jordan?
I don't know.
Well,
But it just looks like it's shot like in, like you look.
Coronation Street.
Yes.
like super high frame rate.
It looks like Coronation
Nice.
Street.
Nice,
Yes.
Adam.
It's got that shitty fucking camera, you know.
I think Adam is drunk.
They took the cameras from Canadian Idol and used it to film the fucking Flash.
Oh God.
What was that? Fleal?
To film the Flash. That's a lot of F's, man.
They took the cameras from Canadian Idol and used it to film.
They took the cameras from Canadian Idol in order to film the fucking Flash.
It's not a freaking throat exercise, Jordan.
And film the fucking
Such a mess.
Okay,
What the fuck
so-
were we talking about?
I don't even remember now. The Flash.
So
Looks like shit.
what is the Flash on? What network?
CTV.
No, never mind. That was Cougar Town.
It's
Yeah.
It's either ABC or CBS or no, it's not CBS.
I really
of
should know
ABC.
offhand. I'm
Speaking of
sorry.
the
I'm
Flash,
getting it here right
A
now.
bunch of new comics about him were announced.
It's the CW.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is that cartoon Wetwork?
No, that's weird.
The CW
Bing search.
is badass in my opinion.
Supernatural.
So you're saying it's filmed like a soap opera?
No,
using those
it's-
cameras.
Which is a high frame rate.
It has a really dumb frame rate.
Like it.
It doesn't
The
look
thing
nice.
that I hate about
Maybe it's
that.
to show the Flash moving fast.
No, it's got nothing to do with that. Compared to Gotham, Gotham is shot really well.
It's a cinematic, like 24, 29 frames a second. The really high frame rate is so jarring to me. It looks like you're not watching the show. It looks like you're standing behind the camera watching.
Yeah, it's not
next to the camera that's
cinematic
filming
enough
the
for
show.
me.
It feels like you're watching like
Yeah.
a documentary or making of something.
Like stationary cameras and all that stuff, but like I don't know, it's a higher frame rate. Is that what it is?
Or
It's
should
the
we be
camera?
done now?
Yeah,
What?
it's garbage.
Wait.
Done now.
I gotta read this out. I just mentioned the CW is badass. I just want to read their dramas down. There's like 8 of them here. Supernatural, The Vampire Diaries, Arrow, Beauty and the Beast, The Originals, Reign, The 100, The Flash. That's a good list.
Yeah. Well, One Tree Hill was a great show.
Never saw One Tree Hill.
You
I've
should
heard
watch
really
it.
good
I swear to God, it
things.
actually is a really good show. That's Dawson's Creek.
Right.
Yeah.
Cut off and denied.
All right.
I'm just gonna edge that frame here.
Should we end the show?
Are we out of time?
No.
How long do you want to go here? Do you have anything else to talk about?
I don't know. There was a few things
talk
I wanted to
about
mention
Dawson's
last week, but
Go
we ran
right
out of
ahead.
time.
All right, speed round.
Is it F1
Speed-
stuff?
no,
Is it
it's not
cars?
F1. I just wanted to
Is it
mention
car
last
stuff
week
that I'm
that
interested in? 'Cause that'd be cool.
what?
Is it car stuff that I'd be interested in? 'Cause that'd
No,
be
it
cool.
was GTA stuff.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
That GTA is now available for pre-purchase on Steam, the PC version. That's old news because I was going to mention it last
Hack
week.
the modem.
It does have some pre-purchase perks. I was looking at it, and it's
Goes with the blimp
$69. No, well, all your shit carries over anyway. Like
from
if,
PS4.
Don't pre-purchase it.
no, your original account, all the stuff that you have in your original account carries over if you're upgrading. So it doesn't matter.
I don't understand.
If you bought the collector's edition of GTA 5 on 360 and you want to use that stuff on your computer or PS4 version, then you can carry it over. You can upgrade.
Okay.
Your online character, your level in your online character, that carries over.
That's
Do you
cool.
think people named Carrie ever get really pissed off at the song? Carrie
Probably,
on
Adam.
With
Probably for people interrupting them all the time. Anyway, I was going to say that the game is $69, but if you purchase it before February 1st, which is a couple days from now, then you will get extra money for single player and extra money for online.
Don't pre-order it.
If you bought, I'm not saying pre-order, I'm just saying pre-purchase. Is that
That is the same
That is
fucking thing.
literally
That
Ooh,
sounds
not-
that sounds the
not
same to me. I
sick.
don't know if it is, but it sounds
Bull
the same.
fucking
not.
cock shit. Dude, it is the
Can we
same
get some
fucking
clarification?
thing.
How often do you go into a
you
game
think-
store and pay
hold on.
full
Do you think-
price for a game?
Hold on.
that's not
We got to stop. We got to figure this out.
Do you think
It's
people-
either the same or it isn't the same?
Do you think people named Carrie get
it's the
pissed
same.
off at the song "Carry On My Wayward Son"?
No, why would they?
Because they'd be like, "Hey, Carrie, carry on my wayward son."
I don't get it.
I feel like anybody who has ever said that to a Carrie was murdered.
Probably. Okay,
Pre-purchase to me
Next point.
means you're buying the game full price. You're just getting it a few days beforehand. Now, really,
And pre-order is just paying less money.
pre-order is like this game's coming out in 8 months. Here's $5.
So it's a temporal thing.
But you can
You
pay the
can't-
full price for the game.
You can't pre-order on Steam though. Steam is only pre-purchase.
That's what I'm saying. Is if I want to get the game
can't?
and I want to download it now, because
You have
sometimes
to pay full price to get the game on Steam. You can't put down.
what I'm saying is typically I'll buy the game if I'm really looking forward to it and I'm fairly confident it's going to be good. Then I'll buy it a day or two before it comes out because usually Steam has
You're
preloading.
the problem. You are.
I'm
the
saying
problem.
they have,
don't
fuck you.
Don't pre-purchase
You
anything
buy
this
it
year.
because then you can download it the day before. So then at midnight you can play the game. What I'm saying now is if you buy it before February 1st, which is stupid, then you get extra money for online and single player.
Yeah, but if the game comes out and it's totally broken,
How is it going to be broken? It came out 2 years ago, and it was fine.
It's a
on,
bad
already
on
an established
Xbox and
game.
PlayStation, not on PC.
because they might hack the modem.
Right.
Yeah, it's still.
So if it comes
it is
out-
a bad idea. Yes,
Jesus.
you don't know if it's a successful platform.
Right.
yet.
I'm saying don't pre-purchase anything. I'm leaking here. I am absolutely
GTA, by my standards, is fine. Just because it's a
You're like
game that's
you're like the
a year and a
Senpai
half
guy
old.
in
It's an
X-Men
established.
Turns into water.
Yeah, but it's like you know what? It's like you know what? I had a drink once. Now crack cocaine is fine for me. It's the same idea.
I think you made some sort
Absolutely
of
not.
No, it's
leap
not.
there.
It's like okay, well, I'm not gonna pre-order games anymore because games keep coming out broken. But I will pre-purchase a game when it comes out, before it comes out. It's the same.
No, it's
fuck-
not.
I
When
don't
you start-
understand how that got into. Let's
I
drink.
think the crack cocaine example probably fooled things up a little.
I
Well,
bought GTA
but figure
on
it out.
Xbox. It was fun. It's
We
not
can't.
broken.
All
The
right.
problems they had with online are
But we
fixed.
don't know.
I want the PC
But this
version.
is
We
PC
keep
version
going
is a different
until
game.
this finishes.
It is a different
Okay.
game.
Yes.
Okay.
They've done a great job fixing all of the console's problems. So I'm
Okay.
confident
I-
Rockstar will fix any that the PC.
Look,
will.
I
investing
I really
in
can't
your
come.
confidence.
I
I'm not
pre-order
buying
because
it
I write
yet.
reviews and I need
Right.
to get it as early as possible to.
I didn't
get
say
the
buy
pace
it.
on the
I just said
reviews.
if you pre-purchase it, you get extra shit.
Oh, I'm not saying
Are-
you said
are you
anything. I'm just
pre-ordering
saying,
much?
like, naturally with me, I
No.
pre-order pretty much any game I'm playing because I'm gonna be
Right.
writing a review
Why
of it.
not?
So
I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna buy it on PC anyway. So why not pre-purchase it? I don't care if it's broken.
Well, that means there's money going into their pockets for a game that doesn't work.
Says the guy who bought 3 copies of Destiny.
well, here's the thing.
Accidentally.
Destiny works.
And you won't give me one of them.
No, it doesn't.
Accidentally.
GTA
and-
works way better than Destiny.
You're right.
No.
Yeah, it was last year. This was before everything was broken last year.
In fact,
He didn't know he was buying 3 copies. He didn't buy 3 copies because he was a big fan.
That's
Yeah,
a lie.
What?
That's a lie.
What's
Andrew
a lie?
just buys
Now-
3 of everything.
Yeah, that's
you still pre-purchase it though. Or pre-bought.
All right, we
last
got
year
less
before
than a
everything
minute.
was broken. This year, don't pre-purchase, don't pre-order, don't pre-do anything. Wait till it's out and you know if it's good or not, and then you can spend money on it. But when the developer doesn't spend the time to make the game work on release, don't give them money. Don't reward them.
As
Yeah,
much
it's
as
just
I would
like-
agree with you, I trust Rockstar 100%.
Oh yeah,
They've
GTA
never
is
released
probably.
it.
You know,
Alright,
that's
so-
the thing. I think there is a certain level of do you trust the company or not? Like for instance, I have a PS4 this generation, right?
Hand, you're jumping into a pile of sand, then there's some sort of vizier, and he takes away your magic. It's a land reference.
But the thing is, I bought it. A lot of people said, the PS4 they thought had better sort of press and stuff leading up to the release.
Yeah.
That's not why I bought the PS4. I bought the PS4 because I bought the PS3, loved it, bought the PS2, loved it, and bought the PS1, loved it.
Right.
And I don't want to sound like a fanboy, but there is a certain amount of I feel customer loyalty sometimes.
Okay.
And so I would use that as my test for pre-ordering things. So if
Did you pre-order the PlayStation 4?
Absolutely
no, but
not.
I would have bought it if I hadn't heard a single good thing about it, probably.
Okay.
If I just not tuned into any of the thing or not, I would have probably not researched it all and just bought it.
That's fair.
And so if we get Dishonored 2, which we totally should, and I'm surprised we haven't already,
Yeah.
I'm I might well pre-order that, to be honest, because I trust Arcane.
All right, so this is a point that kind
Best case scenario here, before you go.
Yeah.
Best case scenario here would be to eliminate pre-orders completely.
We'll definitely eliminate all the complicated pre-order bonuses with about the 5 million different types of pre-order there are for every game.
In the game from the start, or as unlockables in the game.
Oh, that's ridiculous. You should get the full game. You buy the game, you get the full game. That's the deal.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
They should just, this year could be a year where nobody pre-orders anything. It's not going to happen, but it could be. And then developers are like, all right, you don't want this, that's okay. We will stop doing pre-orders. Here, the game will be available on the day it's released.
I have two things about that. One is, even my favorite company is responsible for that because BioWare had a thing where if you pre-ordered a copy of Dragon Age Origins or 2, I think it was Dragon Age 2, then you got an exclusive Mass Effect armor called for Mass Effect 2 armor called the Blood Dragon armor. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to play Dragon Age 2 because I didn't like the first one, so I'm not going to do that. I rented a copy of Dragon Age 2 from Jumbo, which is now out of business, so I can say this. Inside the flap of the game was the pre-order like leaflet with the code on the back. And I'm like, yoink.
Oh, wasn't Mass Effect 2 the worst for that? For like bonus content.
Yeah.
Remember
eventually it did
or Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, eventually those were all released.
I'm Dr. Pepper.
But like
Dr. Pepper.
No, it was Mountain Dew.
Okay, never explain that story.
I think it was
explain that later.
Did it have like Mountain Dew on there?
And the other thing is, the reason I don't trust GTA about fixing its issues is because how long have you been waiting for heists now? A long time. Heists still haven't come out on console. GTA version of console, the GTA 5 console version came out, 2 years ago now?
They're doing a lot of stuff.
Here's the thing.
Yeah,
I don't
but
mind
they haven't
delaying.
said- they haven't
I don't
come
mind
out-
delaying release. Releasing broken is way worse to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but here-
instability, like Valve time, I mean, is the classic. Right?
But here's the thing. They said that it was coming out multiple times over the course of the past 2 years. Where is it? Like, I'm just wondering, like, why
Probably not ready yet, I think. I think if it's
coming
not
out,
ready yet.
they said within the next few months.
But
they said that,
wouldn't we all
like,
pre-order, or
6
I would
months
pre-order
ago.
Half-Life 3.
They
for
said it was
instance,
coming out
even
the
though
next
Valve
year.
is
Yeah,
notoriously
yeah.
unreliable with release dates. You know what I
The thing
mean?
is, I don't.
I just don't trust them
And
anymore.
released more free
Well,
DLC.
Would
because-
Valve make Half-Life 3 available for pre-order?
Well, yeah. Well, that's. I'm speaking like a sort of very
I'm waiting for the
hypothetically.
day where I wake up and Half-Life 3 is just available on Steam.
I heard.
Right,
I saw a thing where Half-Life 1 was released in when the calendar was still using 1, so it was 1998 or something. Half-Life 2 was released when the calendar was using 2, so it was 2000 in the 2000s. So people think Half-Life 3 is going to be released in the 3000s.
I would very much like Half-Life 3.
Yeah. You know
Like,
who
I know
does?
everyone says that.
You know who does DLC or bonus content really well?
Nintendo. Absolutely not.
No.
Go on.
CD Projekt Red.
Yes. You betcha.
Yeah.
What do they make?
Witcher.
Yeah.
The Witcher games.
And which I haven't gotten to play as much as I would like to, but
All their DLC is free, and there's no DRM on their games.
yeah. And here's the thing as well about the article will be on the website of like very select things I'm looking forward to in 2015. One of the things I said is I feel like I'm excited about The Witcher as a fan, even though I've played extremely little, because of all the great fan reaction I've heard, and because it seems similar in many ways to a lot of other games that I love.
You fight a griffin.
Yeah.
That's really
However,
impressive.
when the first one first came out, and I think when the second one first came out, there were major issues with DRM.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they had to fix that. But their rules, I guess now, their guidelines now are much better.
That's what happens. Companies should learn.
Yeah.
That's proper
Yeah.
business.
Can I leave you guys with a point?
Yes.
So Target in Canada, this is kind of related, but unrelated at the same time. So Target in Canada has now been disbanded.
Oh man, did they underestimate Canadian shoppers?
Oh yeah. But okay, so everybody who works for them gets 4 months severance, which is a lot. That's great. That's a really nice bonus.
Fantastic. Yeah.
The guy who owns it gets there's 10,000 employees in Canada. The guy who's running Canadian Target gets 4 months severance equal to the 10,000 employees who are getting who are out of the job.
So if they get
he gets I've calculated out 10,000 employees $10.50 an hour, let's say, right? It's $17 million.
Screw that guy.
So this guy gets $17 million because he royally fucked up. He was rewarded for being a piece of shit.
I'm locking in your point now. You weren't talking about like this.
No,
like, so
I'm talking about the
corporate
game
structure thing. You mean like he messed up?
Fucked up personally.
Are you fucking kidding me?
It was targeted.
Well, you got $500 million to put them all in Canada and to promote them.
Targets.
Well, it's
Take
not
that
just
money
him.
and
Whoa, hold
fucking
on.
shove it
He's
in your
not-
dick hole.
He's not like he's
Yes.
not running this from like his desktop.
No,
like
I
he's got a
understand.
bunch of people working for him.
But do you
because
think he deserves
sub-managers and stuff.
$17 million? He's literally set for the rest
I
of
don't
his
know.
fucking
I think
life.
I deserve $17 million.
Don't we
to be
all?
honest, but-
Don't we all? In retrospect, what is this man doing? This man fucked up, essentially.
Pixel Junkies.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, we'd like to have $17 million, yes.
I did have 17 million.
Yeah, and you spent it all on fucking Dragon Age Inquisition. So
Apparently,
He bought
anyway,
65 copies.
Anyway, $17 million for a dickhead who fucked up royally.
I don't know. I don't know
this
about the
clip
guy.
gets
I've never met
took
this
out and
guy.
put on a headline
No,
somewhere.
We might have to edit
on
that
the
out
news.
because of the slander thing.
I'm not slandering
It's
him.
YouTube. You can say what you want.
You can't. You can slander people on YouTube. Well, yeah, you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Just
well,
preface
you
it with,
can,
it's
but
not
is it against
slander.
the guidelines?
This is completely Jordan's opinion. We're not,
yeah.
Jordan thinks this guy is not good.
Jordan's
I don't
opinion
think- I don't
is
think
not
it's
the
fair.
opinion
Necessarily
of
a
the
lot.
I
Like that
don't
Pixel Junkies.
think it's fair to reward people for doing doing something wrong.
Yeah, but he's a CEO. That's what CEOs do.
Why does he get
They-
$17 million?
CEOs screw up royally and get paid for it. That's their job.
I highly doubt
They're so
Jordan.
purpose.
Well, I don't know the case. I don't know how they decided on the amount. For all I know, this guy had.
It's 50% shares.
Well, for all I know, this guy he tried his hardest. He worked really hard. The company appreciates him.
So they would give him $17 million, and each employee literally, like, nothing.
You're not going to give each employee
How
$17
in the
million.
hell did
No,
he
you
know
can't
that
practically. But
Target
what is
was
he...
going to leave Canada?
What?
It wasn't his fault
What?
individually.
What's saying that he didn't? And who's saying that he didn't know that he was going to get a severance package?
Well, yeah, we're way
Does
over.
he manage
Time.
all those employees?
Is that what you're asking?
No.
Yes, I just
Anyways,
we have to
fuck
speak.
We can
that
run
shit.
over. Fuck
What
it.
breeding is for.
What's our?
It's
how far are
YouTube.
we?
We're not limited, but do you really have to pee or something? Because I
Well,
kind of have to pee.
Adam
Yeah.
wants another drink. That's what he is.
All right, we're going to clue this up and tune
want
in next
another
Monday for another Pixel Junkies podcast.
Now,
It wasn't specifically his fault,
No.
but
He doesn't deserve $17 million. Point in
No.
case.
No.
Give him $50, tell him to get a
He
new
was-
fucking job.
he was in charge.
Moving on.
He was in charge of. You're talking about the guy in charge of setting up Canada's
Yes.
distribution or whatever.
Yes.
Can we hire him on as technical director? Because as I understand, the position
No,
is now
because we'll have to
open.
pay him a $17 million fucking
Also,
severance package.
That money could go a long
Pay him
ways. in
$17
Piece
this
of
podcast.
shit.
Can you imagine? He comes on, does a bad job as technical director. We give him $17
Well,
million.
who's saying that's not what he did? He's like, I know fucking Target's not going to work in Canada, so let fucking...
He must have known that
He
prior,
didn't
though.
know that.
What do you mean? Of course he did.
But that's
You get
what I'm
laid
saying.
off, you get a
That's-
severance package.
Yes, but it was probably
He
written-
didn't set up Target to fail in Canada.
Why not?
Jordan.
What do you mean,
He's
why?
not Jordan.
He's not some Lex Luthor.
When
one.
he was hired on, he definitely sat down and there was some piece of paper that said somewhere, you're going to get a severance package equal to that of the amount of employees that you manage based on however many stores there are.
Yeah.
He probably knew going in that, if Target fucks up, then I'll get the amount of money based on the employees I manage. If he had to manage 10,000 fucking employees, I don't want that job. He probably deserves 17
No.
million.
Jordan, the thing of it
They
is
never talked to any of them.
I would rarely have I heard of a situation where someone messing up is actually more profitable than at least trying to do a good job. If he was getting a $17 million severance package, let's look at what he was probably getting paid if Target thrived in Canada. I don't know. I don't know anything about business. I haven't watched the news since
I just
2013.
think it's crazy. It's madness. It's the whole 1% thing.
He's going to probably get paid a dick.
So
for it.
employees got paid how much? How much?
$10.25 an hour for 4 months.
4 months.
A 4-month severance package.
So what if his salary was 3 times that? His annual salary.
Why do you need more than $17 million?
But if the
Because
employee
it was
got
his
paid,
fucking pay.
if the employees got paid for
That's his
for
job.
I'm over the point. Fuck it. I'm not gonna
Did you apply for a job saying, why do I want $250,000
If I
a year?
could sit down in a desk and jerk for 24 fucking hours a day and get $17 million, I would love to be hired to do it. Please hire me to do that.
Oh my God, what's that?
I'm Rory.
I was hoping everybody would look over there so I could escape to the bathroom.
Anyways,
All right.
All right.
up.
Thank
That's
you
it.
for
Fuck
tuning
the
in.
1%.
I really apologize to that Target guy.
You don't need $17 million. Anyways, fuck you.
Any of the
Point is over.
any of the opinions expressed on this show are of the members only and not
No, not of the members only, of the Jordan only. Let's just
Of Jordan only, and
members
not of
who
Pixel Junkies as a
specified
parent
them.
company.
All right, thank you. Please come back next Monday.
Come to PixelJunkies.ca if you're watching this on YouTube. We got a cool website with articles.
Or
and
just
stuff.
watch it on the website.
Fuck the 1%.
No.